Yo, what's good with y'all? Welcome to another episode of TEQCopsKicks. My name is Technic G. Today we have another fresh sneaker unboxing / review video for y'all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Today we're taking a look at an extremely special sneaker. This is the Virgil Abloh Archive Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG SP in the Alaska Colorway. This pair was released March 2026 and retailed for $230. I was actually able to pick this pair up directly from the Virgil Abloh Archive Canary Yellow website. They posted an EQL raffle for North America and Asia. I entered, I won, I paid retail, and they shipped it to me. And I couldn't be happier to have this pair in my collection. I don't hit on sneakers like this very often. This is an extremely rare win for me. I really wanted this shoe as a part of my collection. The Jordan 1 is definitely my favorite shoe of all time, so this was something I had to have. But there was no way I was going to pay $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $1,500 for this shoe. I was either going to get it for retail or I probably wasn't going to get it at all. When you really start looking at this shoe up close, that's when all the details start to separate themselves. At a first glance, it looks like a clean all-white sneaker, but it's actually not just white across the board. There are a lot of subtle shifts in tone that give this shoe depth. Starting with the sole. The very bottom outsole is a true white, while the midsole has a more of an off-white, slightly aged look. It's not overly yellow, but it adds just enough contrast so the shoe doesn't feel flat. And then when you look at the midsole itself, you'll notice that air printed in black right on the side. And that's not just for style, that comes from Virgil's approach of making normally hidden details visible instead of covering them up. So that air text right there is simple, but it represents his whole mindset. Nothing hidden, everything intentional. Moving into the upper, the leather panels are a clean white, but underneath them you've got that blue-green, almost icy tinted fabric. Depending on the lighting, it can lean more blue or more green, which adds another layer of depth to the design. Toward the back of the shoe, especially around the heel, there are sections that come off more like a soft gray-white tone. It's subtle, but it breaks things up just enough. And another detail that really stands out when you have the shoe in hand is the collar and sock liner. Instead of being finished and padded the way most Jordan 1s are, the top of the sock liner is left exposed with open foam. So you're literally seeing that raw foam edge around the ankle area, which gives it that unfinished, deconstructed look as soon as you look down at the shoe on foot. That's one of those details that really drives home the whole concept. Even the tongue follows that same idea. Instead of having the Nike Air tag centered at the top like a normal Jordan 1, it's shifted off to the side. You've got a white tag with orange Nike Air branding, and that off-centered placement makes it feel a little more raw and less structured. It's a small detail, but it continues that whole theme of breaking the traditional layout of the shoe. The swoosh is where a lot of signature Virgil details come in. On the lateral side, the swoosh is stitched on in a way that makes it feel slightly detached from the upper, almost like it's floating. You've got two hits of blue stitching, one towards the front and one towards the back, that highlight those connection points and really draw your eye to how the swoosh is actually attached. Right next to that, there's that orange patch with orange stitching, and it almost comes off like a piece of tape holding everything together, adding to that raw, deconstructed look. But then when you move over to the medial side, the swoosh is completely removed, and instead of being clean, you can still see the stitching holes left behind, outlining exactly where the swoosh would normally sit. And even when you look at the shoelaces, you've got that classic Virgil detail with the word shoelaces printed right on them. It's simple, but it's one of those signature touches that instantly ties it back to his design language. All around the shoe, you'll notice exposed foam, raw edges, and visible layering. Nothing is hidden, and that's the whole point. One detail a lot of people might also miss is the Air Jordan Wings logo on the collar is stamped into the leather, giving it that more subtle pressed-in look. And underneath that leather, there's a hidden 85 stamped beneath it, referencing the original Air Jordan 1 from 1985. So even in areas that look simple at first, there's still another layer of detail built into the shoe. One of the most important updates on this pair is the medial text. On the original version, it read Off-White for Nike. This time around, it now reads V.A.A. for Nike, Air Jordan 1, Beaverton, Oregon, USA, C.1985. And that might seem like a small change at first, but it represents something much bigger. This isn't an Off-White collaboration at all anymore. This is the Virgil Abloh Archive working directly with Jordan Brand and Nike to continue Virgil's work. To really understand this shoe, you have to understand how Virgil approached design. When he worked on the Air Jordan 1 for the 10, which was his original Nike collaboration where he reimagined 10 classic silhouettes, he didn't come in trying to redesign the shoe from scratch or make it look completely different. Instead, he focused on one core idea, revealing the process. He wanted people to see how the shoe was actually made. There's a story about how he literally took an X-Acto knife and cut into a pair just to understand the construction, just to confirm whether there was an actual air unit inside or not. That level of curiosity is what shaped everything he did. From that point on, his approach became about pulling back the curtain. Instead of hiding the stitching, he highlighted it. Instead of covering the foam, he exposed it. Instead of making everything look clean and finished, he left elements raw and unfinished on purpose. And what that does is shift how you look at the shoe. You're not just looking at a finished product anymore, you're looking at the process behind it. That's why his designs feel like prototypes, like samples, like something you're not really supposed to be seeing. But that is the final version, and that's what made his work different. He wasn't just designing sneakers to look good, he was designing them to make you think about how they were made and why they were made that way. And when you look at this pair with that in mind, everything starts to click. Taking a look at what comes with the shoe, it all ties back into that same concept. First off, the box itself is crazy. This is not your typical Jordan 1 box at all. It's super sturdy, really well built, and it actually has some weight to it. It feels more like a display piece than just packaging. Instead of a regular lid, you've got this side panel that opens up almost like a door, which already makes the unboxing feel a little different. You'll also notice there are circular cutouts all throughout the box, so you can actually see inside before even opening it. That ties right back into the whole idea of revealing what's usually hidden. Inside, there's a clear plastic inner sleeve that holds everything together, along with that Virgil Abloh Archive printed paper wrapping the shoes. So even the packaging follows that same design language. Nothing is really hidden. Everything is meant to be seen. And then, of course, you've got the zip tie. That's one of those signature details that's been tied to Virgil's work from the beginning. On this pair, it comes in that light blue tone, and it's not just there for looks. It's almost like a tag or a marker, something that makes the shoe feel like a product in process instead of a finished product. A lot of people keep it on, some people take it off, but either way, it's one of those details that instantly let you know what this shoe is connected to. You also get extra laces in black, purple, and blue, all with that same shoelaces text printed on them. So you've got a few different ways you can switch up the look depending on how you want to wear them. And then you've got the Virgil Abloh Archive booklet that gives you more insight to the design and Virgil's thought process. So this isn't just a sneaker, it's the full experience, all the way down to the box. At the end of the day, this is still an Air Jordan 1. You do get that encapsulated air sole unit, but overall this is more of a lifestyle shoe than a comfort first shoe. For sizing, I'd go true to size. I'm personally a size 12. As far as wearability, yeah, it's all white, so it technically goes with everything. But realistically, this is not a pair you're just throwing on every day. This is a white shoe with exposed materials, raw edges, and visible foam, so it's going to get dirty easily, and it's definitely going to show wear over time. And not just normal wear, it's going to age in a very specific way. If you've seen older off-white pairs from the 10, you already know they don't age clean. The foam yellows, materials break down, and the shoe starts to take on a worn, almost fragile look. But honestly, that's part of the design. That's part of the beauty of it. Virgil wasn't trying to make something that stays perfect forever. He embraced the idea that sneakers age, they change, and they tell a story over time. So with this pair, you kind of have to go into it with the understanding that it's not going to stay looking like this forever. But that's also what makes it feel real. For me personally, this is one of the most meaningful pairs I've added to the collection, not because it's flashy or loud, but because of what it represents. Virgil changed how people look at sneakers. He made people think about design, process, and intention differently, and the fact that it was this hard to get just makes it hit even more for me. Overall, this is not a sneaker for everybody. If you're just looking for something easy to wear, you might not connect with it. But if you understand the history and what Virgil brought to the culture, this is one of those pairs that deserve a spot in the collection. With that being said, this was not an easy pair to get. This was an extremely limited release, and unless you hit on one of those raffles, your only real option at this point is resale, and even that has been all over the place. At first, pairs were going for around $1,500, then it dropped down into that $500, $600 range, and now it's starting to climb back up again into that $700, $800 range. So the market is still trying to figure this shoe out. And honestly, nobody really knows how many pairs are out there. So yeah, this isn't something you could just go out and grab whenever you want. But if you understand what the shoe represents, then it's one of those pairs that really means something to have. Man, this is one of them pairs I don't even really like touching. You know what I'm saying? This is just so crazy to have in my hand right now. I never thought I would see the day that I would ever own this shoe. I remember when they first came out as an off-white collaboration. It was a European-only exclusive. I just thought, hey, it's over for me. I ain't gonna get the shoe. It's a wrap. I ain't paying no $3,000, $2,000, or even $1,000 for this shoe. It was definitely something I wanted. I also wanted the Chicago colorway, the UNC colorway. I wanted them all. You know what I'm saying? But I never ever thought that I would be able to get them. Because you know what? Honestly, I never was going to be able to get the off-white pair. It was just too unobtainable and the resale price was too crazy. So when they announced that they were going to come back out with this shoe with the Virgil Abloh Archive to go ahead and, you know, hold his legacy together and to uphold everything that he did, man, I got excited and I just started praying and hoping that I was able to get this pair. And so when I actually hit that raffle, man, it's just a good feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I really wanted to have. It was something that I really liked. And it was just, you know, I focused all my mental energy on getting this pair. So, you know, it's just a good feeling. I don't really know what else to say. I'm really happy to have this as a part of my collection. I never thought I'd be wearing this shoe, but yo, I got it. I'm happy. It's here. And yo, it is what it is, man. I'm just happy, man. Rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. Peace out to the dude, you know what I'm saying? That dude, he did a lot for the culture. I ain't even gonna front. I could just keep talking and talking about this shoe, but this is already the longest review that I've ever put out. So yo, man, I appreciate y'all watching, man. Thanks for watching episode 24 of TEQCopsKicks. My name is Technic G. Make sure you thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this beautiful shoe that I got right here. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads. You can also check out my official website at TEQCopsKicks.com. Keep copping them kicks, y'all. Stay true to yourself. wear what you like, do what you do, and keep representing for yourself. Much love, y'all. Peace.